Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to a slightly earlier edition of The Lock Shop. Daddy got to go pick up his daughter at school a little bit later on today. So we decided to fit in a Lock Shop a little bit earlier today. And hey, it's never too early for Huss. He's been betting AFL since he got up this morning, right, Huss? Isn't that how it works?
Well, listen, I will admit I was not up for the St. Kilda kickoff at 4:50 a.m. However, I did have them on the money line. And anytime I do my Lock Shop picks the night before, send them to you. If there's an AFL game, I'll usually put a little sprinkle on it. And I'll tell you what, when it comes through, I got great momentum coming into Friday morning with you, my friend. And actually had a nice hockey ticket yesterday too. Shout out to the Buffalo Sabres. I gotta give Chris. I know Chris won't be able to join us today. He's on a flight, but Chris really through his repeated bets of Tage Thompson goal and point props every game got me paying more attention to Buffalo. This is a team that they were an underdog, a money line underdog against New Jersey last night. It made no sense to me. They're playing great. They won again. And I'll tell you what, along with Tampa that crushed the Toronto Maple Leafs in St. Louis, a nice little plus 466er last night. So I got another 3 games tonight in hockey. I'm looking forward to it. A little bit of baseball. And tell you what, I'm still rattled from the end of the Raptors game in game number 3. Oh, man. I mean, there's so many things we could get into on that. But I am optimistic about tomorrow. And we'll get to some NBA picks as well as the first round continues.
Lock Shop is brought to you by our partners at Coolbet. You can follow them on Twitter at Coolbet Canada. When you sign up for an account, use the code LOCKSHOP, and they'll know that we sent you over there. Speaking of momentum, I had a guy slide into my DMs with a screen cap of his Coolbet account from last night, and a $20 bet turned into 1,058 last night. 9-game parlay. Hit it. It was plus 51.92, buddy.
Did it say what the games were, or was it too many?
I have only
games
got, I see Calgary, I see Florida, and that's all I got on the screen cap. So I don't know what the rest of them were, but how's that? Hey, $20 into almost 1,100? Not bad.
Who was it? Shout out to them.
Yeah, 90, I think it is. 90 on Twitter. He got her done. That's well done. We like that. Yeah. We like that. And the NHL's been kind of playing that way lately, so it's nice.
Well, listen, I mean, there's been a heck of a lot of favorites winning. I mean, we talked on Tuesday's show. I mean, favorites were 22-0 on the money line on the weekend. It was nuts. I mean, a lot of the bad teams are basically packing it in. There's teams like Buffalo that are giving you great value because they're playing their asses off till the end of the season. But we pretty much know where we're at. Very little to be determined in this final week other than who's going to get that final spot in the West. And then, geez, Dusty, in about 10 days, one of my favorite episodes of the year, first round Stanley Cup Playoffs, playoff props, futures, and lines for the 8 series in round number 1. I'll tell you what, as choked as I am that the Jets aren't going to be part of it this year, man, it is shaping up. I mean, Minnesota, St. Louis, those series in the Atlantic Division are going to be phenomenal. But little ways to go. One more week of the regular season. And, of course, NFL draft next week, too. I'm going to be in Vegas. I'll be hooking up with you from there. And I guess on Tuesday, we should have a bunch of draft props that we can talk about as well for the first round, which is going to get going on Thursday.
Oh, that'll be great, too. I look forward to that as well. Man, I can't wait for you. I'm very, very excited for you. That's going to be fun. All right, let's dive into the NHL tonight. And I think we're on 5 games, but 6 different plays tonight. Huss, where are you going, man?
Well, listen, I'm going to start it off with, it's funny, I've got a puck line, a money line, and an over-under for my bets. But I'm going to start off with Columbus at home, a slight favorite against the Ottawa Senators. And, the Senators are coming off that shootout win against the Canucks, but they lost to the Kraken at least before that. Did get a couple nice wins on the road against Boston and Detroit. But other than that, I mean, been losing more than they've been winning. And as far as the Columbus Blue Jackets goes, I mean, this is a team that obviously is not going to the playoffs right now. They continue to play hard, but they just had a real tough time. I mean, they got smoked on that West Coast trip, Sharks, Ducks, Kings. I think they come back in front of their home fans and get it together. This was thinking about the under in this game too, but listen, I'm going to take the home team against a pretty weak opponent playing for next year right now. I think that they'll come out. So give me the Blue Jackets at -112. The picks that I like the most, though, of this round, first of all, Capitals going on the puck line. Listen, Washington still has a lot to play for right now. They're in the middle of a dogfight when it comes to positioning, and certainly considering, who they're going to go up against. I mean, no matter what, I think they really do want to be sort of moving into that playoff role right now. And hey, no better team to do that against than the pathetic Arizona Coyotes, who continue to embarrass themselves. I mean, Washington did lose in the extra frame to the Golden Knights, but other than that, they've won 7 or 6 of their last 7. And if you want to make it 7 of 8, no better place to do that than Glendale, Arizona against the Coyotes. So a -141 for the Caps to win by 2. I like that one. And then a game I'm sure you and the guys talked quite about this morning on the Nielsen show. What a matchup tonight between the Edmonton Oilers and the Colorado Avalanche. And listen, on paper, I think, I'm taking the Avalanche against most teams right now. But I'm liking the over. I think we're going to get some goals in this game. I certainly think Edmonton is going to be fired up and will be able to score. And listen, Colorado's a hell of a tough team to keep off the board. So while I know the Oilers have had a couple lower scoring games recently, I don't expect that tonight. 6.5 is the number. And we're going to jump on that at the over. And it's funny, it was -116 when I got it last night. I'm looking at it right now, -125. So that could very well go up. If you do want to get the over at 6.5, maybe the sooner the better to make that wager. So put those 3 together as well in a nice little 5-1 parlay for tonight's action in the National Hockey League, although we've only got 4 games to get to.
I was on the over last time Colorado Edmonton met, and it bit me in the butt. It's weird. I think I don't mind the over tonight because I think they're due for an over because they played 2 games in the last month and it was 3-2 and 2-1, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense that those teams are ending up 3-2 and 2-1. So very much could be trending towards an over here tonight. I am going to be on Edmonton tonight, -103 here against Colorado. Colorado. A couple of different things. I mean, they'd won 9 in a row. They've lost their last 2. They lost to Washington. They lost to Seattle. They don't have much left to play for, right? Colorado's done, locked and loaded. I mean, they've got it on cruise control right now. The last game, they didn't have Ranton. They didn't have Landeskog, so they're not completely healthy. I don't know if this game's close tonight. Like, how bad does Colorado really want to go out and grind out a victory? I know Edmonton does, though. Edmonton's still fighting for home ice. They can clinch a playoff spot tonight. They are 11-0-1 in their last 12 at home. I think this is a chance, and it won't be a full-blown statement game because Colorado's not completely healthy. But I think it's a good chance for Edmonton to go out and not lose 3 in a row against Colorado in tight hockey games. The last time they played Colorado, they had 50 shots on goal. And Darcy Kemper stopped 49 of them. So that also trends nicely towards your over. I'm not sure if whoever's in net for Colorado tonight can do that again. They almost hit 50 shots against Dallas as well just earlier in the week. So I'm going to take Edmonton -103 here at home tonight in a Clinchmas Friday night extravaganza at Rogers Place. So,
well, I got to tell you, I mean, for the Oilers and their fan base, I can't imagine a better way to get people fired up heading into the postseason than to clinch your spot by beating the number 1 team in the West in the National Hockey League right now. So the stage is certainly set. But I'll tell you this, if they're going to do that, they're going to have to score some goals. I know Mike Smith's been playing really well lately, and they've been doing a good job keeping the puck out of the net. But easier to do that against some teams than others, and I would suggest that the Avalanche are at the bottom of that list. So let's see some goals tonight and what should be a real exciting game, certainly the game of the night in the NHL.
Yeah, the other one that I want to get to, Washington over 3.5 goals against Arizona. Washington in their last 7 games have scored 6 goals once, have scored 8 goals once, and have scored 9 goals once. You get Arizona tonight. I like them over 3.5. Unless it's the old Vejmelka steals the show scenario again. Is he starting tonight? That's the only thing that I would worry about. Outside of that, I love the Caps over 3.5 goals tonight at -171.
They've been rolling right now. And I mean, listen, I mean, I don't know if you caught that Arizona-Calgary game last Saturday, but listen, once the pucks start going in against Arizona, they seem to keep coming right now. And let's not forget about your boy Ovi. I mean, Ovi just got 50. Every goal counts for Ovechkin right now. In fact, I might look before the game at the goal props tonight and hammer a multi-goal game for Ovi right now. We all know that he scores in bunches. Anything that he can get, a big game like right now against a terrible team like Arizona to help him make up for some of those lockouts and missed
That's a good idea.
I wouldn't at all be surprised if Ovechkin continues to roll. He had the 2 to get 50 in his last game. Maybe see what a hat trick prop is for the old great 8 tonight. But
I got it for you right now, Huss. Here we are. Ovi to score tonight, minus 137. Actually pretty good value for Ovi to score. Ovi over 1.5, plus 300. Ovi hat trick, plus 950 tonight. So a little Ovi sprinkle on a Friday night. Yeah, exactly. My third game, Minnesota in regulation. Obviously a ton to play for here for the Minnesota Wild. I know they're in a back-to-back situation, but Minnesota in regulation, minus 161 against Seattle. As of this moment, Minnesota and St. Louis both have 105 points. Minnesota does have a game in hand. I would expect them to take advantage of that tonight against Seattle. So it's, the whole back-to-back games, goalie situation doesn't matter. They've been alternating Fleury and Talbot basically since they brought in Fleury. So Minnesota has a nice luxury there of both of those guys playing relatively well. So if you parlay these three, Edmonton tonight, minus 103 money line, Washington over 3.5 goals, and Minnesota in regulation, nice 4-1 parlay tonight in the National Hockey League. So it's weird because there's only 4 games, buddy, but I really like some of the value out there tonight.
You know what? Me too. I was feeling like last night, it seems like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays are when you get your massive slates and you can really sort of pick and choose the games. But I think the way we went about it this night, we've identified games that we liked. I mean, certainly the Colorado, Edmonton, and the Washington game. I mean, but you know what? I've had some success throwing home dogs or home, slight favorites in to get a third game in for the parlay. Overall, though, I think you just have to kind of look a little closer at what offerings are there for the games if you don't want to just straight up make a money line bet, which I normally do like to go. But I mean, obviously betting a team like Washington against Arizona on the money line isn't going to help the wager too much. You'll have to make a massive bet to get anything to come back. So I know I like the way the hockey card settled out for a Friday night in a lock shop.
Let's head over to the association where we've got some weekend NBA plays. Raptors obviously in action on Saturday afternoon, but a couple other games that we're on tonight, and then we'll get into the Raptors and the 76ers. Huss, where else are you going tonight?
Well, you know what? First of all, Denver Nuggets, I would have had a 7-0 night last night. I had the Grizzlies. What a crazy comeback. They were down by 20 and went on like a 22-2 run. And
with no timeout. No timeout. The coach didn't call a timeout on a 21-0 run. I'll never understand that for the life of me.
Obscene. I mean, that's probably a fireable offense right now. You can tell the T-Wolves haven't been there before. You know what I'm saying? But listen, I'm going to go with my guy Giannis. I mean, remember when we were making our picks beforehand? This is almost sort of doubling down on the picks that I'd made before. I had Bucks in for the sweep. They've got 2 down. This is a huge game for them to step on the throat of the Bulls. I mean, I think if the Bulls win a game, this will be it. But I'm riding with Giannis and the Bucks to get this done at minus 2.5 on the road. You know what? I'm so puzzled by this Nets Pelicans series and the injury to what's his name, Mr. Kardashian, is going to be a huge problem. I mean, with Dylan out, I just don't know what to expect. So I'm just staying away from that game.
Yeah.
And then getting ready for the early one tomorrow. And listen, as I said to you off air, I'm still choked about that game. I mean, I hope Pascal Siakam got all those bricks out of his system in game number 3. And then listen, the Raps got job too. That was a joke that Doc Rivers was able to jump onto the court. I mean, clearly in violation. I mean, it couldn't be any more black and white in the rules that is a technical foul. Raps should have had the ball. They should have had a free throw. I mean, it could have decided the game. It didn't. And Joel Embiid, absolute monster. But I've always respected the team that the Raptors are, the heart that they've shown. I think that they and their fans show up big time tomorrow and at least extend the series to a 5th game in Philly. So give me the Raps as a home dog on the money line at plus 125. But for tonight, I'm taking Giannis and the Bucks minus 2.5.
I think the Raps are done. I wish they weren't, but I think they are. Like, I don't understand what Nick Nurse was doing either, not guarding the inbound play on the. I think let alone put Fred VanVleet on him. You never put your littlest guy on the inbounder. It doesn't make any sense. Then he pulls him off anyway and tucks him around behind all the screens, and they still allow Embiid to get. I mean, it was a great shot. It was a fadeaway three, like. It was, turnaround three. I won't say a fadeaway. Turnaround three, and VanVleet couldn't get a hand up in his face because he's too damn little. That just didn't make any sense to me. I don't know. That was a bizarre situation. So I think the Raptors had their push. Now, you do make an interesting point. Siakam and VanVleet in game 3, if they do anything offensively, the Raptors win that game, right? If those guys, when the Raptors are up 17, if VanVleet and Siakam hit some shots in the second half, they're probably winning that game by 5, 6, 7 points at worst. Instead, both those guys had really bad games. So maybe there's a push there. I just feel like with the way that last game ended and the way the first 2 games had gone in this series, I think the Raptors are done. So I'm going to take 76ers money line on Saturday at -147.
Head to head in the lock shop. I am betting on the heart of a champion, which the Raptors still have. They probably aren't going to win this series. Well, I don't think it would be historic if they won the series. In the NBA, you do not come back from 3-0. And listen, I think history will tell you that a lot of these 3-0 series end immediately in the 4th game. Maybe it's a bit of a homer pick, but I think the Raptors have earned over the years that sort of trust, I think. And listen, I have no doubt that they're going to leave it all out on the court, and I think they'll be better. And, from a Sixers perspective as well, I mean, I think they can maybe be a little, listen, they'd love to just end the series and move on and get the extra rest. But, if they do have guys like a Harden, maybe they don't have to play him quite as much. And maybe Joel Embiid gets a little bit more time on the bench, which would certainly help the Raptors' cause. That being said, it's there's no tomorrow if they can't get the dub right now. I'm not even paying attention to the point spread. Raptors got to win, and I don't mind at +125.
And just quickly on the point spread, people are expecting this to be a close game. Where I don't think either of us are really reaching here. It's a 3.5 point spread right now, so it should be a really good basketball game. We're just going to go head to head on it on Saturday. My other play tonight, Miami Heat on the road. I think they're going to get the job done here against Atlanta. -1.5. Obviously, when they were at home in games 1 and 2, I think game 1 spread closed at 6.5. They covered. Game 2 spread closed at 8. They covered. They won the game 2 by 10. So I look at Miami here. I just think they're too much to handle for a Hawks team that, they've got some star power for sure, but Miami's a really well-rounded basketball team, and I think they're going to be a tough out for whoever they face. I think they get it done. If you want to take a money line, you can take a money line. I'm just going to go Heat -1.5 tonight as my other NBA pick.
Yeah, and just a heads up, I was mentioning that Suns-Pelicans game that I'm staying away from tonight. The Suns are still a 2-point favorite, but Devin Booker, it looks like he's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks right now.
Yeah,
so,
I saw that.
This isn't a 1 or 2 game thing. Be interesting to see how this goes. Certainly with the Penguins going in the Pelicans going in and stealing home court. This could get real interesting if they win at home tonight. So I'm going to stay away. I will be watching that one, though, and it should be interesting. We'll see who steps up in the absence of their top player.
I watched that last game, and Phoenix was still making – I know they didn't have Booker, dude probably would have scored 50, and they probably would have won, and it screwed over that 3-game parlay I had. But I got to give credit to the Pelicans, man, because, Phoenix was still hitting shots down the stretch, and the Pelicans just weren't missing. Like, Ingram and McCollum just – kept finding ways to score. I was pretty impressed by that Pelicans team in that game. So that's an interesting series moving forward as well. NBA playoffs have been pretty decent so far. Let's go to Major League Baseball. Obviously, every day Major League Baseball, there's a ton of different games that we can look at. We both ended up settling on Atlanta here, actually. Of all the games, I thought Atlanta at -147 against Miami, but I thought that was a pretty nice number. I had to hop on it.
Yeah, well, listen, and just let's talk about the pitching matchup right now. Kyle Wright had a great start. He's 1-0 with a 1.64 ERA, and he's going up against Trevor Rogers, 0-2 with the 12.15 ERA. So just simply earlier in the season, I think we know what we expect from these teams.
Yeah.
The only thing you can really do is look at, who's hot, who's not, and who is on the bump. And I think it's a huge advantage for the Braves. To be honest, the reason why I jumped on this was the fact that I couldn't believe that the line was only where it was, considering, the roster that Miami has. Atlanta's the defending champs. And the pitching matchup, to me, this was more like a -175 game. So I jumped right on it as well. And then another line that I really liked is the White Sox. I mean, both teams have been they're playing the Twins tonight. Twins are 5-6. The White Sox are 500 at 6-6 so far. Michael Kopech had a great first start. He's got a 1 ERA, did not get a division. He's going against Bailey Ober. But to be honest, I think that the Twins have been, listen, they lost 2 of 3 to the Royals. They did end up winning one, but they just have not been hitting. They lost 2-0. They won 1-0. So I think that if the White Sox get any sort of a good pitching performance, they should be in a good spot to do it. And for their part, they got to get it together. I mean, they just came out of, they've lost 4 in a row. They had 2 games postponed against the Guardians and then lost 3 in a row. So this is an important game for the White Sox to get back to it after a pretty good start, winning 6 of their first 7 games against the Mariners and the Rays. So give me the White Sox to get it back together. -109, pretty much a pick 'em there at Target Field, taking on the Twinkies.
Yeah, and the other one I'm going with 2 teams that, Washington's coming off, I think, a split with Arizona. San Francisco dropped 3 of 4 against the Mets. Corbin's going to get the ball for Washington. His 4th start of the year. He's 0-2 so far with a 7.50 ERA. So I think this is a spot where the Giants might be able to get some guys on base and cash some runs. So once again, not a huge number here. So I'm on the Giants -132 going up against Washington tonight. So we got 3 picks for you, Major League Baseball here on a Friday, but that's not where we end this thing, Huss. You got a little AFL and Formula One. I'll probably end up tweeting my F1 picks out after qualifying on Saturday, because we got the sprint qualifying this week and there's qualifying going on today, and weather is going to play a factor this week. So watch the Lock Shop Twitter account, which, by the way, quickly, Lock Shop Twitter account, over 900 followers now. We're closing in on 1,000. I tweeted it out yesterday. Go find the tweet at Lock Shop Bets. When we hit 1,000 members, we're going to give away a Lock Shop hoodie. And then all of the 1,000 members will go into that draw. We'll pick somebody randomly, and you will get hooked up with some Lock Shop swag. So Lock Shop Bets, give us a follow over there as we creep towards 1,000 members already, which is cool.
Yeah, no doubt. And I actually just quote tweeted that as well, saying that we were coming up in 5, so you can see it on my feed as well. And at Lock Shop Bets, tell a friend, and we'll look forward to giving away some stuff once we hit a G note. Hey, just quickly, one note, you might wonder why we didn't touch the Blue Jays tonight. Starting a series against the Astros. Looking forward to that. Looked real good against the Red Sox in their last series. It's just the pitching matchup. Chicken strips on the mound, although he was good. I mean, in his last time, but Justin Verlander, a .69 ERA so far through 2 of his starts. It's just a tough spot. Although Houston, I'm just looking on the ESPN number, Houston -175. Let's see what they are when it comes to Cool Bet. Blue Jays +155. So it's just going up against Verlander right now. That's a stay away, and that's why we went with the others. But yes, it is the weekend. We continue into the Aussie football season, and I've got 2 selections this week. As I said, feeling good about myself. Got some momentum. St. Kilda money line last night at -125. They got the job done. And these are 2 massive lines in these games, and I'm going to be on either side of them. First off, let me just get the lines up so we make sure we know what we're talking about. First up tonight, we have the West Coast Eagles. And the West Coast Eagles are going up against Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide is at the very bottom of the table. They're 0-5 on the season, although they do have a 75.1 percentage, which is actually better than a number of teams towards the bottom of it. Bottom line is, Port Adelaide is somehow 20-point favorites in the game. And to be honest, it was 24.5 last night when I made the bet. It's now down to +20.5. Here's the thing. West Coast, not a great team, but there's no way they should be laying over 20 points to the only winless team in all of Aussie rules football. So give me the points with West Coast. Listen, I think I'd still take it now at +20.5. Certainly liked it last night and got on at 24.5. And then the other matchup, and this is on the complete opposite side, it is the Geelong Cats going up against North Melbourne.
Love the Geelong Cats.
You know what? The Geelong Cats have been great. They had one bad loss to Sydney earlier on, and they're 3-2 on the season. But you look at their points percentage compared to other teams, and really they're better than a couple of the teams that are at 4-1 right now. And they're going up against North Melbourne, who's 1-4, got one win so far in the season, but have a league worst 62.9 percentage. And as I said, Geelong better than their record. They have to win, and I think they emphatically win this game and pound North Melbourne. So I'm going to lay a ridiculous 29.5 for the Geelong Cats to win by 30. So we're taking one big favorite. We're taking one big dog. Probably bet them together maybe, but does certainly do it single. West Coast Eagles plus 24.5 or 20 right now as it is, and Geelong Cats minus 29.5. And hey, one other thing, I forgot that this was going on this weekend, Dusty, but we have a heavyweight championship title fight in the world of boxing. Right. And, you can see Coolbet's tweet put out Tyson Fury in what could be his last professional match going up against Dillian White. Fury by KO, TKO, or DQ is minus 133. Fury by decision plus 200. White by KO, TKO, or DQ plus 450. And White by decision. Obviously, this is Fury's fight to win. And I just think about, the bombs that he throws, what he was able to do against, the Bronx Bomber the last time out. I think I'm going to lay the minus 133 and have Tyson Fury end this one earlier. That's Saturday night. That's also available at Coolbet right now.
And just quickly on Formula One, the one play I wouldn't mind locking in right now, and they do have the sprint odds up. Max Verstappen, who finished first in qualifying today, so sprint qualifying tomorrow, minus 133. Charles Leclerc, plus 125. Then after that, it's plus 3,000, plus 3,000, plus 5,000. So it's basically going to be a battle between Verstappen and Leclerc. I don't even know if I'll get on any of that. Maybe we haven't seen a lot of action in this sprint. Maybe Verstappen minus 133 is the play. But we saw a bunch of guys having issues today. I would take the number of classified cars at the end of this race under 16.5, which sits at minus 118 right now. So that's something heading into the race on Friday. Winnipeg's.
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
It means cars that finish the race. Cars that will essentially finish the race. Classified at the end, right? So 20 would start it. You would need 5 to be out. And today, Carlos Sainz didn't finish today. I saw Bottas went off. And then you've got all sketchy drivers who always cause issues anyway. So I don't mind that under 16.5 as far as classified cars. Huss, Winnipeg Sports Talk. What do you got coming up today, buddy?
Yeah, big show today. Our old pal Troy Westwood's going to jump on with us. Kenny Weeb as well. My buddy Christian Hammerback got a big golf event coming to Manitoba as well this summer. We'll get to that. We'll do a little marble race at the end of the show, give away some good stuff from our friends over at Canadian Club, and certainly also talk about the passing of Guy Lafleur. I will say this, Dusty, and I know you grew up a little younger than me, but you grew up as a Habs fan. I grew up as a Habs hater, and I've maintained that throughout my life. However, I always thought that Guy Lafleur was the coolest. I don't remember him very much ever from the Habs. It was more that sort of weird playing for the Rangers and the Nordiques at the end of his career.
Still look cool, though.
Oh, man, absolutely. The hair, the shot, the records. A true icon in hockey, period. Never mind Quebec and the French community and the glorious history of the Montreal Canadiens. But we'll talk a little bit about the passing of Guy Lafleur as well. And 4 games left for the Jets at home. Not going to be at any of them. I'm sort of freed now. I'm at peace with the season. NFL draft next week down in Vegas. We'll be talking to you on Tuesday from Bar Canada at the D Hotel in downtown. And if anyone for any reason is in Vegas next week, hit me up on Twitter at Hustlerama. Pop by, check out the show, or maybe meet up in some locale in Sin City for hijinks and frolicking.
Safe travels, buddy. One day we will be doing that together for the Lock Shop, and it'll be amazing. I cannot wait for that.
Hopefully very soon.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So, all next week, and get out there Sunday, and we'll do a couple shows where I'll join you from there next week. And lots going on. And then, of course, once we get through next week, I'll get back, and then it is on with the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Shout out to everyone in Edmonton. I know they're very excited about this game tonight. Booking that ticket, and I'll tell you what, I don't think there's a better spot in the West than you could be than second place in the Pacific Division. So it's right there. I'll say, don't screw it up. Give hockey fans the Battle of Alberta. We deserve it. We need it. And oh my God, would that be incredible in the second round?
It would be incredible. That would be amazing. Hey, if you've been watching the live stream and you're not yet subscribed to the podcast, just search The Lock Shop on all your podcasting platforms. Safe travels, Sauce, and good luck this weekend, buddy. And we'll talk to you next week from Vegas, man.
Thanks, pal. Have a good weekend.